Everybody, my name is Foti, and I'm the founder of Renova Digital, and I'm also the founder of Atavis Staffing and RPO. So what's this all about? So I want to just spend a few minutes detailing a case study that we did for a client on the Renova side. Okay, so this webinar is going to be called Recruiting Lean, Digital Automated Recruiting for Your Business on LinkedIn. Okay, how this healthcare leader plagued by cardiac tech shortages used LinkedIn to pack their pipeline. Now, please understand, this is not just limited to the healthcare industry. We work with any industry. This process works for any industry. We have construction clients on very successfully, recruiting project managers, estimators, all types of candidates. So anywhere in the world, this can be implemented. Anywhere where candidates are in LinkedIn, LinkedIn's all over the world, we can geofence and target them very, very powerfully. Okay. Now, I want to say something very important. There is a myth that the job board business, right? It's a multi-billion-dollar business has perpetrated on corporate America, and that's that they are the holistic solution to recruitment, and they're not. Okay. Your CEO's driving his car. He hears an ad for ZipRecruiter. Indeed, come to ZipRecruiter. We'll fill all your positions. Well, you know that's not a reality. It's good for some positions. I'm not diminishing what they do. They have their place. But there's really one key metric that you have to understand. Less than 10% of any given talent population is active, meaning they're looking for work. They're actively pursuing a job. That means that the vast majority, 90% of candidates in your talent universe, your talent market, okay, 90% are not actively looking. Okay, very important to understand this because job boards only addressing 10% or less of the active market are going to put you in a situation, if you do find a good candidate, you've probably experienced this, where you're going to have a multiple bidding situation where your odds of actually acquiring, having successful acceptance of that offer diminishes rapidly, right? The more competition for your candidate that you want to hire, for those A players, the more difficulty. It becomes a shark feeding frenzy for that one candidate. It also drives up potentially the salary, which puts you into a higher fixed labor cost, right? So multiple bidding situation for those 10% of active candidates, if you were to find an A player, can drive you into a competitive bidding war for that candidate, which can also have to cause you to drive up your offer, which is going to increase your fixed salary expenses. There is an alternative. Okay, let's go after the 90%, right? The vast ocean of candidates that job boards aren't reaching and that you're probably not reaching, or you're paying a recruitment firm like Atavis that I own to go out and source them from that pool. Okay, no big secret, but you're not going to get Indeed or ZipRecruiter to share that one little fact with you. Okay, so it's important to understand this. So let's show you how we can build a very lean, digital, not human, but digital an automated recruitment team for your business to either do all of your recruitment or to augment and support your internal recruiting processes. What businesses does this work for? Any kind of business. If you're a Fortune 100, Fortune 500, or if you're a small town shop of 5 employees or less. If you're looking to hire and you need good, strong, valuable A players and good skill sets, we can help you tremendously. And we can do it a lot more affordably than hiring an internal recruiter. Most small businesses cannot afford to pay $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 plus burden and benefits for a corporate recruiter. And even if you did have that money to invest in a corporate recruiter, that recruiter is now, in 2021, limited to only 100 connection requests per week. 400 per month with LinkedIn. That has crippled a lot of recruiters, okay? We have transcended this limitation through our technology. We are sending 90 invitations per day for candidates. So this puts you in the driver's seat. It helps you reach passive candidates faster. And trust me, your competition is not doing this. You can be, okay, which is going to give you a very serious advantage. So let's get about this case study. Let's make it brief. How this healthcare leader plagued by cardiac tech shortages used LinkedIn to pack their pipeline. The client is a leading cardiac monitoring company who was always struggling to recruit CRAT-certified cardiac techs throughout the United States. Job boards, of course, were not delivering. Recruiters were busy managing internal processes and had no time to source, and were limited by LinkedIn's new 100 weekly invite limit. They realized that LinkedIn could, and we all know LinkedIn's powerful. It could be an effective way of engaging with techs, especially establishing subject matter authority in the field and keeping their employer brand and jobs top of mind with candidates in their respective regions. This is no different than lead generation. It's just that we're targeting candidates. Very same processes we use to drive sales leads for clients all over the world with Renova Digital. If you're not using us for sales leads, have your team give us a call. So, in summary, we built two proxies, which are basically not real LinkedIn profiles, but they're very tastefully branded, undetectable photographs. That person would carry a position of recruiter or talent acquisition, whatever we want. But the most important thing, the reason why we use bots, and LinkedIn uses bots to sell their products, we use bots because if we were to bolt into an existing employer's LinkedIn account, which we can, if you're a business owner or if you're with the company for a long term, we can definitely bolt in to your LinkedIn profile and drive this activity through your profile. That's not a problem. But like most companies, they have turnover, right? So if you lose a recruiter that we were to bolt in, or an HR person that we were to bolt in, and you terminate them or they leave the company, all those delicious, beautiful first degree connections that you invested in for us to build into your talent acquisition pipeline on LinkedIn, all those first degree now in network candidates walk out the door with that candidate, right? So we don't want you to have that. So don't be afraid of building a proxy. One or two proxies two proxies can cover almost 50,000 candidates per year. Okay? Let me say that again. Two LinkedIn profiles with our technology driving can cover 50,000 candidates per year. So you don't need a lot of proxies. Okay? Customer lifetime, this customer was with us for 8 months. In 8 months, we've aggregated over 1,700 techs into the first degree of their proxies. They now have 1,700 people, candidates that meet their job descriptions in their first degree. Why is that important? Not only have we driven a ton of applications for them and solved their staffing problems, but now because we uniquely have access to the email API of LinkedIn, when they get jobs in certain regions or even by radius zip code, we can now create a search and target those candidates and send them in-mail messages right through LinkedIn about their jobs, saying, we've got a job within a 5-mile, 10-mile radius of you, let's talk, right? That's very powerful. Your recruiters cannot do that. Even if they had 5,000 candidates in their LinkedIn accounts, they would still have to send messages one at a time. We can bulk send messages through LinkedIn to as many candidates as you need, letting them know when you have jobs. So again, this is very powerful, okay? With this client, the connection acceptance rate was we had over 500 plus candidates engaged, over 180 applications. The connection acceptance rate was over 26%, okay? We've generated over 500 plus candidates that engaged in conversation, and they got over 180 applications. So in summary, we sent 3,000 plus invitations just in the 6 to 8 months they were with us. 26% of campaign invitees accepted. Over 180 plus applications were sent. We had a 1% conversion to lead on on connection campaigns and 9% conversion to leads for downstream. What does that mean? That means that when we connect and we send one message, they may not respond. We send the second message automated, they don't respond. The third message, they finally respond. We call it the rule of 7 in the lead generation sales world. 7 touches in order to get people to respond. People are not ignoring you. People may have a need for your job or for your company or your product or service. They're just busy like the rest of us, and they kind of check your email or your message in the back of their head, but they forget about it. That's why in marketing and in recruiting, it's all about automation, staying top of mind, re-engaging, staying top of mind, staying top of mind, staying top of mind. Why? When you can stay top of mind with the masses, then as time evolves, right, and situations change, and we know in this world, everything changes all the time. We're waiting for that life change to happen, and boom, there's your message. They know who you are, and they're going to call you when they need a job. We had astounding 9% responses. 9%. That's almost 3 times as much as other campaigns in the lead gen world, right? So we really had great success with this campaign. Staffing problem solved. So cheers, we love this. We call it the beer method. It just worked out like that acronym. It's kind of fun, right? So the beer method is very similar to our BES method we use on the lead generation side. Build, engage, educate, and sell. Well, in this case, we build, engage, educate, and recruit. Right? Number 1, our first goal is to build a bot for you or plug into an existing LinkedIn profile. We're going to grow your audience, sending 90 connection requests a day. We can reach a total addressable candidate market 5 times faster with 90 per day. Go beyond LinkedIn's 400 invitations a month. We inherently do that for you. Okay. Secondly, we're going to engage them. We're going to ask them a question. We're going to talk to them. That basic stuff. We're going to educate them. Monthly touches, employer branding, company success stories, new initiatives and projects at your company, employee testimonials, vision of your company. And we can do that. We can target geo specialty messages as well as your jobs open. And I'll show you what that means in a minute. And then 4th, we recruit. We drive apps to the ATS for funnel management, or you can schedule an interview, however you want to address that call to action with that candidate. Okay? This is a fully branded profile. Basically, we'll help build a profile, picture, everything, photo, backsplash with your organization, and we optimize it. Okay? Okay, so how do we do the targeting? Very simple. We did in California, they had some needs. They had to do a radius search in Daly City, California. We did a radius search on LinkedIn, and we targeted these technician names: monitoring technicians, arrhythmia technicians, CRAT, cardiac monitoring, cardiovascular tech, CCT, EKG, electrocardiograph technicians. So rhythm analysis. So as you know, in many fields, the same position can have a variety of different titles. So we work very hard to capture all those potential titles. We built them into the system. And as you can see, we got a very, very accurate result. Okay. All these searches are actually built out in Sales Navigator. Our entire platform is coded in Sales Navigator, FYI. So your bot will need to have a Sales Navigator campaign, which is, I think, about $99 a month. So let's go into how we targeted for this company. So in this search, we targeted by zip code radius and by the titles very successfully. We were able to suppress their existing clients, companies that they didn't want to touch, right? And we kept our emails and our in-mails very short. We know by our data is showing that the shorter the message, the higher the response rate. So we want to keep our messages under 600 to 800 characters per message, and that does help our conversions very significantly. This is what the connection invite looked like. Hi, first name. I work in talent acquisition in the cardiac monitoring space. I'd love to connect. As these days, you never know when serendipity will strike. Great. Hey, let's connect. Welcome message. First name, so glad we connected. FYI, we're expanding opportunities nationwide for cardio techs to support our quest to be the premier global leader in patient care management. Our recent merger with health tech leader, and it's a big one, has paved the way for exceptional career opportunities to support our vision. We'd love to have a conversation with you about possibly being a part of this dream team. Either way, it's great to be connected. Okay? Follow-up message. Okay? Usually 3 or 4 days later. Hope all is well. We're expanding opportunities nationwide for cardio techs to support our quest. Yada, yada. You get the point, right? We follow up. Now, this was a little bit more corporate than I usually, but the client wanted that, because of who they were. They had a really strong employer brand. Everybody knew who they were. It worked. So we could build a little bit bigger message, have a little bit more corporate lingo. But traditionally, if you're employer brand, if you're not well known in your market, we take a little bit of a different approach. Another follow-up message was, hey, I haven't heard from you. Curious if you read my last message. Remember now these candidates are going to be looking through their LinkedIn messaging thread, right? So they're going to be able to, just like an email, to go back up and see your initial message. So that's what we're prompting them to do. So we'd love to have a conversation with you about possibly being a part of the Stream team. Either way, it's great to be connected. Okay, messenger campaign. What's a messenger campaign? This is the secret sauce. This is where the magic happens, both for us in lead generation and as well for talent acquisition. This is very interesting. We have access to the application programming interface on LinkedIn, which means that we can send bulk messages to every first degree member that you have. So in the bots, as we grow your audience, just like email marketing, you want to grow that list, and then you market to that list. You can't market to a list that hasn't been built. So we have to grow your connections. That is the invitation connections to all these candidates. They accept the invitation connection. Now they're in what we call the first circle or the first degree. They're in your network or in the bots network or in the proxies network, whatever we want to call it. Now that they're in the network, their first degree, LinkedIn says you can send a message directly, 100% guaranteed, to anybody that is in your first degree. Well, we can do that in scale. We can do it in bulk. Okay, we can send messages to everybody. What would that look like? We would do a sales navigator search through the bot. Let's say you have a position in Chicago, a certain radius zip. We can deploy all those geofencing targets, and now we could say, hey, we've got a new role for a CRAD certified tech in Chicago, and then we input the body of the message. Hey, by the way, you can click this job. Here's the job link for our applicant tracking system, and click right to there and apply there online. Or your CTA could be different. It could be, hey, let's pass this off to one of our HR people, a live, real person this time. I may have to go to a live person eventually, but that's kind of the model for what we do. So imagine this. Let's build your talent acquisition pipeline to your first degree in the bots on LinkedIn by the hundreds, by the thousands. Okay, now we've built a real talent acquisition pipeline, and we have the technology to drive messages to them as your jobs arise. Very powerful, very powerful. I found this response very cool, very cool. This candidate is not on LinkedIn very often, but they still were interested. Hi, sorry for the late reply. I don't check LinkedIn often. I'm interested in having a conversation about the opportunities available. Okay, this was our cadence message. Dawn, hope you're doing well. We're changing the world and helping others, yada, yada, yada. Hey, I'm not even on LinkedIn, but hey, let's have a conversation. So I thought I'd share that with you. That's just one of the engagements. We got that just a couple days ago, 11/2/21. Okay, so we can notify you of all leads, of all candidates, and we also have the ability to put all of these leads in a beautiful sheet for you. So you have all your candidates there, and everything's neatly packaged. Now, we can also stack that with other sourcing modalities. If you want us to search job boards, we can become a full-on recruitment team for you, okay? And we can do that very, very cost efficiently. Again, Renova Digital does lead generation and talent acquisition on autopilot. Visit us at www.renovadigital.com. Thank you.